He is dying. His body carries the marks of over 100 battles. Sword wounds, arrow wounds, spear wounds. There is barely a span of skin on him that hasn't been cut open and stitched back together. He has never, not once, in over 100 engagements, lost a battle. He destroyed the Persian Empire's frontier. He broke the Byzantine army at the most important battle of the 7th century. The Prophet of Islam himself gave him a name. And before all of that, he was Islam's most dangerous enemy. His name was Khalid ibn al-Walid. And this is the story of a man who went from being the sword aimed at a religion to being the sword wielded in its name. Mecca, 625 CE. Khalid ibn al-Walid is young, aristocratic, and already one of the finest cavalry commanders on the Arabian Peninsula. His clan, the Banu Makhzum, were known for one thing above everything else: producing warriors. He grew up on horseback. He trained in the desert. He understood terrain the way other men understand language. And right now, he is watching the Battle of Uhud unfold, and he sees something. The Prophet Muhammad had positioned 50 archers on a hilltop with one single order: do not abandon your positions, whether we are winning or losing. They abandoned their positions. Khalid saw it the moment it happened. He wheeled his cavalry, swept around the back of the mountain, came around from the rear, and hit the Muslim army from behind before they even knew he was moving. What had been a Muslim victory became a catastrophe in minutes. The Prophet was wounded. 70 Muslims were killed, including Hamza ibn Abd al-Muttalib, Muhammad's own uncle, his closest protector, known as the Lion of Allah. That was Khalid ibn al-Walid, not a fanatic, not a brute, a man who could read a battlefield in real time, find the single crack in the enemy's armor, and drive a sword through it before they could blink. The challenge for Islam was simple. As long as Khalid ibn al-Walid was their enemy, they had a problem. And then, he stopped being their enemy. 629 CE. 4 years after Uhud. Khalid has been watching, thinking. His brother Walid, already a Muslim, has been writing letters urging him to come to Medina. And the Prophet himself reportedly said, "A man like Khalid ibn al-Walid could not be ignorant of Islam for long." When Khalid stood before Muhammad, he said, "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that you are the messenger of Allah." The Prophet, smiling, pulled him close. He made a supplication for him. He said, "Praise be to Allah who guided you. I knew that you had an intelligent mind that would accept the truth eventually." Khalid asked for forgiveness for everything he had done against the Muslims. The Prophet told him his conversion itself wiped away what came before. He had been a Muslim for less than a year when everything changed again. The Battle of Mu'tah in what is now Jordan. The Muslim army, 3,000 men. The Byzantine allied force across the field, estimates range from 80,000 to 200,000. The Prophet had appointed 3 commanders in order. Zayd ibn Haritha, his adopted son, killed. Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, his cousin, who reportedly had both arms severed in battle and held the banner with his stumps before he fell, killed. Abdullah ibn Rawaha, a poet turned soldier, killed. 3 commanders, 3 deaths. The army was leaderless, deep in hostile territory, outnumbered 30 to 1. A soldier grabbed the banner and called out, "Choose a commander among yourselves." They chose Khalid, a man who had been a Muslim for less than a year. What Khalid did next is studied in military academies today. He didn't charge. He reorganized. He repositioned units, confusing the Byzantine commanders about what he was doing. He conducted a controlled retreat, making them believe a trap was being set. He kept the army intact, moving, fighting, breathing. He broke 9 swords that day, 9 in a single afternoon, and he brought the army home. When news reached Medina, the prophet said, "Khalid is one of the swords of Allah, which he has drawn against the disbelievers." Sayf Allah al-Maslul, the drawn sword of Allah. 636 CE, 6 years after his conversion. Emperor Heraclius of Byzantium assembled his largest force since the Persian Wars. Khalid had chosen the ground carefully. The deep ravines of the Yarmouk River sat behind and to the side of the Byzantine position, turning their numerical advantage into a liability. You can't outflank when the canyon is on your flank. On day 6, a sandstorm rolled across the plateau. It hit the Byzantine line like a wall. They couldn't see, they couldn't breathe, they couldn't retreat. Khalid's cavalry swept from 3 directions simultaneously. The ravines behind the Byzantines became a killing ground. Over 70,000 Byzantine soldiers died. The Byzantine field army in Syria effectively ceased to exist. Emperor Heraclius fled, and as he left Syria for the last time, the land his empire had held for centuries, he reportedly stopped, turned, and said, "Farewell, O Syria. What an excellent country this is for the enemy." He never came back. By this point, Khalid had already been removed from supreme command, twice by Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, not for incompetence, not for betrayal, but because people glorified him and were misled. He was fired for being too good, for becoming larger than the cause itself, for making men fight for Khalid instead of for God. And Khalid? He picked up his sword and went back to fighting as a regular soldier. He served under Abu Ubaidah, the new commander, without complaint. When people urged him to protest, he said, "I fight for God, not for Umar." 638 CE, Homs, Syria. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the man who broke empires, who crossed the impossible desert, who saved 3,000 men from 200,000, is dying of fever in his bed. His last words, "I have participated in so many battles, and there is not a span of my body except that it bears a wound from a sword, a spear, or an arrow. And yet, here I am, dying in my bed, like a camel dies. May the eyes of the cowards never find rest in sleep." He left behind almost nothing. No palace, no great wealth, just his horse, his weapons, his armor, and a record that no one in recorded history has matched. More than 100 battles, not a single defeat. The sword of Allah was never broken. It just, eventually, went to rest. After a very, very long time in the fight.